Guys, we're back with another edition in the free program series of free programming. So, we've already done kind of like an off-season thing. We've already done hypertrophy, an explanation of both and when to implement them, and now kind of the third phase and final phase, which is going to be an umbrella to a lot of stuff. You can take this and run with it in many different directions, but, and this is going to change per individual, but I heavily believe in GPP, General Physical Preparedness. Okay? What is GPP? Other than just general physical preparedness, the one reason for GPP is for your strength-related goals. It enhances aerobic capacity, which improves blood, oxygen, and nutrient flow to working muscles that help with recovery between sets of resistance training. In less fancy terminology, when you lift heavy shit and you're gassed in between sets and you need to wait 10, 15 minutes to take another set, that's not okay. Your body is not working efficiently. You should be ready to take another heavy set, especially on your main movement, between 5 to 10 minutes. Okay? GPP is the base of your pyramid. You've probably heard this a million times. Again, nothing I have posted in this free program series is new. It has been repackaged and delivered to people in a ton of different ways. Okay? This isn't new. This is just my perspective on it. Base of the pyramid. The only way to have a bigger pyramid is to have a bigger base. GPP is the base of your pyramid. I think every single strength athlete should do GPP. I think every single athlete should do GPP. I think every individual that is even interested in the fitness realm, once they've been in it for X amount of time and start to see their progression decline, needs something of a GPP phase, if you will. Okay? These are just my views and opinions when it comes to programming and progressions of individuals. There is always a progression and there is always a regression for certain attributes of strength and development. So, what will happen during a GPP phase? Okay? You're going to increase your aerobic capacity for strength. Like we just said, this is going to help improve the flow of oxygenated blood to muscle tissue, which in turn can improve, fancy words, mitochondrial density. What the hell is that? Okay? Mitochondria are organelles of the muscle cell. So you have the muscle, you have the cell, you have things inside the cell. That's where these guys reside. Okay? These guys use oxygen to help produce ATP. ATP you need for energy, you need for anything that we're doing inside of a gym. ATP. Okay? So you need mitochondria for ATP. Basic. GPP helps mitochondrial density, so there's more of them, which in turn helps with ATP production, which in turn helps with your recovery and getting through the hard workouts. Okay? Follow me on that one? ATP is actually the fuel that supplies muscle contractions. Improving the mitochondrial density improves a muscle's ability to use oxygen, also improving overall health and function of that particular cell, which is inside the muscle. So it'll improve the muscle itself and the function that it's doing within the muscle. AKA the base. Everything we do for strength, this is way, way overanalyzing it for all of you people that were like, oh, GPP is stupid. No, it's really not. This stuff, in turn, in the long run, will help you lift heavy weight. Clean, clear-cut, simple. This is like taking really fancy terminology and making it meathead proof, because I kind of get the fancy terminology, like I said in the hypertrophy video. This is me trying to break it down in a really dense manner so that you guys can understand it a little bit better. Okay? So, at higher intensities, when doing things like HIIT, high intensity interval training, the body will use ATP from anaerobic sources, but will rely on aerobic metabolism during low intensity for recovery. Okay? Anaerobic. You don't have a lot of oxygen because you're doing HIIT, high intensity. You're working really freaking hard for 10 to 20 seconds. Your rest periods where you're sucking wind and trying to walk around to regain all of your breath and recover, that is where you're going to be using your aerobic metabolism. That is considered the low intensity recovery of the interval. Okay? This helps replace the energy spent during the high intensity work periods. That's what you're training. Okay? So we just went through 4 different layers, really far broken down, of why GPP even matters for a strength athlete. Okay? You can even argue that we went through 5 different reasons why. Okay? So GPP does make you stronger in the grand scheme of things. What does GPP look like for a powerlifter? GPP, in my opinion, for a powerlifter looks like something very far away from a barbell. High intensity interval training, okay? Flipping a tire, throwing a med ball, doing another sport that has nothing to do with a barbell. Tennis. Tennis would be like, I would love to watch powerlifters play tennis. It would be so bad. It would be hilarious, actually. Doing any type of activity that requires different energy sources, different use of your muscle, and you can't go balls to the wall playing tennis, especially if you're an elite level powerlifter, because you just can't. For the last 12 to 15 weeks, you just trained to do a squat, bench, and deadlift. Guess what? Your body, because you have gotten halfway decent at that, is going to self-regulate itself, and you're going to be falling over yourself, tripping over your ankles. You won't be able to move fast because you don't have the cardiovascular ability to keep up with it. So you're probably going to be sitting in one spot trying to not move across the tennis court as much as possible. So that is an extreme example of GPP for a powerlifter. Right now, I'm doing stuff like boot camp. Okay, I'm doing movements that are unilateral. Okay, so one part of my body at a time. So either my right arm, right leg, left leg, and a lot of supersets, nonstop movement. So I am working all of those different capacities that I haven't worked for the last, I guess our training cycle was like 20 weeks. Okay, what would this look like for an athlete? I don't know, playing a sport that's not your main sport. If you're a soccer player, trying to play basketball. If you're a soccer player out of season, doing GBP might look like swimming. It might look like that's when a soccer player could get into the gym and do weighted work. Okay, that's an off-season thing for them. It is extremely far away from their sport, which the risk-reward factor is going to be on the side of reward, because you're not used to doing it. You're not going to be able to go balls to the wall, so your risk is going to be low and your reward is going to be high because you are training modalities that you're not used to training. Okay? When this can be used for those who like to work out. If you have an individual, and this falls under the category of general population. If you have individuals that are not trying to be a powerlifter, they're not trying to be an athlete, they are just trying to look good naked, or they are just trying to feel better in their workout, you can only, it's my opinion that you only want to keep someone doing the same style of things for so long. Okay? Your body is really resilient, and then it'll start to adapt to certain stimuli. When you have Gen Pop clients, they like change. They don't like to get bored in their workouts or their training, and this is a good change of pace for them. Now, you don't have to call it boot camp. You don't have to call it high-intensity interval training. You don't have to use any fancy name. Just make them work. But I will warn you against making them work till just they throw up. Okay? Anybody can make anyone else throw up. Doing these style of workouts that are drastically far away from what they're used to is going to challenge them, and it will then give them an appreciation and an understanding of where they might be lacking. I have a lot of Gen Pop clients that have come to me and they like to work out and they didn't realize how bad they were at single arm or single leg movements because the individuals that they worked with in the past have not done any of that at all. The majority of older individuals at the facility that I'm at right now can't lunge to save their life. That's not okay. Everything you do on a daily basis is unilateral. You are walking on one leg at a time. Unless you're standing all day in front of a computer at one of those ergonomic desks, that's the only time you're going to be bilateral. Anytime your body is moving, it's going to be unilateral stuff. So why aren't you training unilateral? Doing unilateral movements in a superset is not easy, especially if you don't do it very often. Okay, powerlifters, try doing GPP and throwing unilateral stuff in there back to back to back, and come back to me and tell me that was easy, that was cakewalk. No, you're gonna be sore because you're not used to doing that in your training. Maybe you should start adding that stuff in there during your powerlifting strength phase and see if you can push the envelope on that, because that's going to transfer. I guarantee you it'll transfer. And I kind of already went over this of when to use this with strength athletes. After your competition, this is the time to implement GPP. When you have done your max out after doing a strength phase, this is the time to implement GPP. So the program that I am putting up right now, I just ran. I ran this program for the last 3 weeks. It gassed me. It gassed everyone else on the Ileana Power Asylum powerlifting team. And it works. I feel a lot better. It has gotten me away from the barbell, and now I'm ready to transition into my next phase, which is going to be more hypertrophy based. And I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope it's challenging. If you have any questions regarding any of the movements in here, you can email me, 19canto85@gmail.com. You can get me on Instagram. You can get me on Facebook. Ask away, okay? I would love for you guys to try this, and I would love any feedback that you guys have. I'll talk to you later.